Tensions are boiling over in the Middle East again. But this time, the stakes are higher than ever before. Iran is in full panic mode as the United States mobilizes a staggering 17,000 elite troops and deploys armored vehicles directly to the region's volatile borders. Is this just a show of power, or the opening chapter of something far more dangerous? It all began with a chain of aggressive escalations, missile attacks, drone strikes, covert sabotage, and nuclear threats. Over the past few weeks, the United States intelligence community has been tracking signs of Iranian-backed militia groups preparing for major offensives in Syria, Iraq, and potentially the Persian Gulf. Satellite imagery showed unusual movements near nuclear facilities, missile launch pads, and strategic oil ports in Iran. But the final straw, an attempted missile strike on a U.S. base in northern Iraq, intercepted just in time, but enough to ring alarm bells across Washington, D.C. Response: the Pentagon launched Operation Steel Shield, a rapid deployment mission to the region. At its core, 17,000 elite U.S. troops, backed by hundreds of armored vehicles, advanced surveillance drones, and airstrike capabilities. Units from the 82nd Airborne Division, 101st Airborne, Marine Expeditionary Units, and Special Forces teams were activated and flown into forward operating bases near Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar. Not just infantry, Abrams M1A2 tanks, Stryker armored vehicles, and Patriot missile defense systems accompanied them. This isn't just routine positioning. You don't deploy this many elite forces unless you're preparing for potential full-scale engagement or deterrence of a serious threat. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, has responded with its own aggressive maneuvers. Anti-aircraft systems have been deployed to nuclear sites. Ballistic missiles moved closer to the Persian Gulf. Iranian state media declared the country was in maximum readiness. But behind the curtain, leaked intelligence paints a different picture, one of panic and disarray inside Iran's defense ministry. Commanders fear a repeat of 2020's Qasem Soleimani strike, or worse, a full-scale confrontation that could cripple Iran's infrastructure. The deployment isn't confined to just one location. Let's break it down. 1. Iraq and Syria borders. American forces have reinforced Al-Assad Air Base, Erbil, and southern Syrian bases. Their presence is meant to deter Iranian-backed militias like Kataib Hezbollah and Liwa Fatemiyun. 2. Jordan-Israel Defense Line, U.S. troops, in coordination with Israeli defense forces, are bolstering the Jordan Valley Corridor, a known transit point for Iranian weapons smuggling. 3. Persian Gulf Naval Forces. The USS Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group is now stationed in the Gulf, accompanied by destroyers and submarines. F-35 and F-AE-18 jets are on 24/7 alert. Iran's fears are deeply rooted in the 2023 sabotage of its Natanz nuclear facility and the drone strikes that took out key radar systems. With the current troop buildup, they worry, could the U.S. be preparing for a preemptive strike on nuclear sites? Will a regime destabilization operation be next? Is cyber warfare also in the cards? For Iran, the psychological warfare is as intense as the physical one. They've ramped up domestic propaganda, warning citizens of Western plots and calling for national unity. Scene 6. Global Reactions and Diplomatic Tensions. Narrator: the world is watching closely. Some allies are supportive, others are cautious. Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Israel have reportedly increased surveillance and mobilized forces, backing U.S. concerns over Iranian aggression. Russia, on the other hand, has warned against Western provocation, stating the U.S. is escalating tensions unnecessarily. China has urged restraint on all sides, fearing instability could disrupt oil markets, a critical concern for their economy. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council is deadlocked, with Western powers calling for deterrence and others demanding de-escalation. Why 17,000 troops? Protests have already broken out in several U.S. cities demanding transparency and an exit strategy. President's latest statement: this is a defensive deployment, but we will respond with force if American lives or allies are threatened. It's the question everyone's asking: are we on the verge of another war in the Middle East? The truth is, nobody knows. What we do know, both sides are armed, alert, and angry. Miscommunication or one rogue missile could spark catastrophe. The region is a powder keg, and the fuse is already lit. 17,000 U.S. troops, dozens of warships, Iran in full alert, and the world on edge. This is not just another headline, it's the unfolding of a potential global conflict. Stay informed, stay aware, because in today's world, the first casualty of war is the truth. Like, share, and subscribe for more real-time global updates. What do you think? Is this a deterrent or a declaration? Let us know in the comments.